All right, as we look at the new AP Top 25 poll released on Sunday, of course, you've got to step back for the Alabama Crimson Tide. They fall from number 4 down to number 10. That is down 6 spots, allowing for a slight bump up for your Georgia, your Ole Miss, your Oregon. Not much changing right there. Texas Tech makes a jump. We got a tie for 6th. Hello. Oklahoma does move up inside the top 10. They check in at number 8. Further down in the rankings, the Texas Longhorns, they fall further than I projected. This one is either Chip's wrong or the AP voters, actually had some stones with them. They did drop them all the way down closer to where you find the next 3-loss team, Tennessee. I was projecting a Vanderbilt win would help Texas, but they do fall down 7 spots to number 17. Plenty of shakeup near the edge of the poll. We do lose Louisville, Cincinnati, Pitt, and South Florida. That opens up things for North Texas, Mizzou, Tulane, and Houston. What do we see from the new AP Top 25 as we look at this and then look ahead?
I see Matt Zenitz. That's what I see when we look at the top 25. Do you guys have thoughts? Because I took a little bit of a different approach this week, so I was going to let you guys go first.
Yeah, I think it's good they dropped Texas because Texas, they lost to a 3-7 Florida team.
Right.
They got drubbed by Georgia. They have really close wins over a bad Kentucky team and a pretty horrible Mississippi State team. Like the resume is thin. I think playing Ohio State close does and should count for something. But if you're going to have all these squeaky wins over bad teams and then, you get drubbed by Texas, I think they probably should fall. Drubbed by Georgia.
I do think just a point to remind the people, this is only the AP, so I'll be curious to see if the committee does the same, takes the same action. But I know Tom has said this a long time. I've kind of felt this way. Can we just put to bed Texas getting to the playoffs as a 3-loss team? Because I'm with Bud. I think you I think you can.
No,
though, but you got beat. So you have 2 bad losses. I know, the Florida loss is a loss. I'm celebrating those losses. But also the final score of the game that you did lose to Georgia was not close.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I think they're done. I think we're fooling ourselves if we're trying to wedge Texas in the conversation as a 3-loss team.
Look, I think you can put them to bed, say the prayer, read the book, right? Lights are off, but is there a guarantee they don't come back out the room asking for some water or something? I think there's still some chance.
They will.
Yeah, if they beat A&M, they're going to have a win over an undefeated A&M. So that'll for the committee, that'll cancel a lot.
And a win against Oklahoma.
And a 3-score win against Oklahoma. Right.
Yeah.
Look, they just need a whole lot of help.
Yeah.
A ton of help. You need.
We feel better about Miami than them. What if both Miami and Texas went out?
Then it's going to be Miami, I think.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that. So
Miami would have a win over a team that beat or that lost to Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
Miami beat Notre Dame and Notre Dame lost to A&M. Texas would have beaten A&M. I think Miami's losses are more, but they're going to hold up better than Texas' losses. And I don't think Texas has the depth of resume to overcome Miami.
Right.
Also, Texas would have to beat Texas A&M.
Also, Miami has the head-to-head. And Miami has the head-to-head over Florida, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And what won't come up in the conversation in this hypothetical is that people just forget the Kentucky and the Mississippi State wins.
The overtime wins against teams from the bottom of the SEC standings.
Yeah.
Game control that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say Oklahoma loses one of their next 2 games, right? Which is possible, but probably not probable. Well, I guess it's pretty probable they lose one, but it's not probable they lose both. Is Texas getting in over Oklahoma? Since they have the head-to-head, they both would have 3 losses.
See, that's when I think you go look at I think it depends maybe on how Michigan does. If Michigan beat Ohio State, that Michigan game, because they both played Big Ten teams, but Oklahoma beat theirs. It's Ohio State. But I think they need Michigan then to,
and they need Tennessee to beat Vandy, because if you can say Alabama, Tennessee, if they can say Alabama, Tennessee, Michigan, those are 3 good cards to put on the table.
So, I mean, Vandy didn't play Ole Miss. Vandy didn't play Oklahoma, right? Vandy didn't play Texas, or they did play Texas. They lost, right? Texas would have the head-to-head over Vandy. I think 9-3 Texas with a win over A&M is going to be a conversation against 10-2 Vandy if Vandy beats Tennessee.
Right. I was talking about Oklahoma, and Oklahoma wants Tennessee to beat Vandy.
Badly.
Yes. Yeah. To be able to strengthen their position.
Right.
What do we make of some of those changes near the bottom of the rankings? I think I mentioned this on Saturday night. What?
You nailed it on Saturday night. Like you no notes, just perfectly done.
Well, he was wrong about Texas. He misled us. He had Texas.
Well, I mean, of the bottom 5, he's like, all right, Missouri probably gets back in, and they'll just fill it up with G5 teams.
Yeah.
Right.
And totally just.
Yeah. There's not a lot of, as I mentioned, there's just not a lot of great options. What you do see is more teams getting votes. Again, just not a consensus. We've had some weeks where the whole 65, 66 voters are basically dialed in on 28 teams. That is not the case, as we've got, Illinois, SMU, Arizona State, Louisville, Iowa, Pittsburgh, San Diego State, all double digits receiving votes. UNLV, Arizona, Washington knocking on that door as well. So this week does have a larger collection of teams that voters are putting in spots number 22, 23, 24, 25, but the consensus did just spit out your North Texas, your Tulane, Missouri, and Houston getting in just ahead of Navy. I think that was the one that I was off on. Just 40 voting points separated those. All right.
I got one thing.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You said you've got a different
approach.
Man,
this guy, look at him. He's just, wow.
We got a lot to get to. We've got math.
We do, but I got a little blind resume test for you boys.
Ooh.
Mikey, if you could throw that graphic up that we made. These are 5 different 7-3 teams. All right, listen. These are 5 different 7-3 teams. All right, I've got their record versus the current AP top 25, their average margin of defeat and their 3 losses, the number of Power 4 wins that they have, and the combined conference record of the Power 4 teams that they have beaten. Which teams there let's start. Which one do you think deserves to be ranked the most based on that information?
Team
I would
B.
say Team B or C. Yeah, probably B.
Okay. Now,
what we don't have is what is the record of the teams they lost to?
Correct. We don't. Because we'll see in a minute. But just so you look at those resumes, because this is mostly this is the bottom of the top 25. I'm not going to lose sleep over any of these teams being ranked and any of them not being ranked. It's just trying to make a point about what the body of voters do. So Mikey, if you want to reveal who the teams are.
Ooh.
Let's go.
A and E, the 2 teams are ranked, Missouri and Tennessee, neither of whom have a win over a ranked team. Their average margin of defeat is comparable or worse than the other teams. They have fewer Power 4 wins than Arizona State and Nebraska, and the combined record of the teams that they have beaten from the Power 4 is dog shit. But they remain ranked not because they're in the SEC, but because they started the season ranked. And voters are lazy. So when they see a team lose, if they had them ranked, they just move them down. They don't take the time to reconsider whether that team actually deserves to be ranked. They just keep them in and move them down. Meanwhile, teams like Louisville, Arizona State, Nebraska, who didn't start ranked, have to constantly prove themselves, and any loss that they suffer shows that they never deserved to be there to begin with. And I would just argue, Bud, because we were talking about, we didn't show the record of the teams they've lost to, because Missouri's is incredible. Like they've lost to 3 ranked teams. Tennessee's, all their losses have come to ranked teams. But if the best thing about you is that you can't beat ranked teams, that kind of suggests maybe you don't deserve to be ranked.
First of all, let me echo Joey in the tailgate. Excellent exercise, Tom. I like the way you set that up. I like the way that you dug that together. I truthfully thought that Illinois was going to be Team C.
That was definitely part of the plan. Yes, I purposely left Illinois off.
You really baited me into that one. I didn't know their margin of defeat, margin of victory stats, but I know that they've got the win over USC to their name. But to see this now, I will give for the Louisville side, it has been stinky. You have lost 2 games in a row and the team just doesn't look good. So if you just want to vibes-wise kick them to the curb, even if the resume is still worthy of being ranked, I would understand that portion of the decision-making.
Yeah, I understand it. I'm just pointing out how alike all of these teams are. But the ones who were in the rankings are always going to get the benefit of the doubt when it comes to doing your rankings the next week.
Why am I blanking on Missouri's third loss? Bama, A&M.
Bama, A&M, and Vandy.
Vandy, that's right.
17-10.
Yeah.
Yeah. Danny, you had something?
Not on this, because I love this.
This is
I think
good.
this is great exercise and just bias and preseason perception versus reality of what happens during the season.
Yeah. For those on the audio side, we always appreciate you. This one, you just need to go check it out. YouTube.com/cover3. Great work, Tom. Great work, Mikey, putting that blind resume test
Shout
together.
out to Mikey.
Yeah. Nice
I
little
just sent him a
reveal on it, too.
spreadsheet and he came back with that.
Let's go. A big day for production.
Mikey's probably like, really, today's the day everybody wants graphics.
Right? Oh, yeah, for sure.
All right. Sorry, DK. Do you have something else rankings wise? I was going to
say, I just had a question on BYU in general, where they are and the perception of them as far as a strength of schedule metric. Now, I was somebody who backed BYU because they were beating everybody on their schedule, and then they lost, and it's kind of soured somewhat. But the ESPN's FPI, which is a metric analytic that they use, they love BYU's strength of schedule. And I was curious to know how much of a difference thing is between Georgia Tech's and BYU's strength of schedule, because I don't think they're that much different, and yet they're pretty far apart, and they've never been close here recently. Is it because, and just in general, I mean, I know their loss is worse. The new NC State team is not a good loss on the road, but if you just looked at their schedules, aren't they pretty similar?
I don't think so.
No,
You don't?
I think the bottom of the ACC is really, really horrid, and Tech has got to play almost all those teams.
Yeah, I mean, and then their non-con was Colorado, Gardner-Webb, and Temple.
Now, if you look at it, if you were to slide over on the FPI strength of schedule, if you look at remaining strength of schedule, that's
Georgia
different.
Tech will get a boost.
Tech is actually the 17th toughest remaining schedule. So FPI strength of schedule is only looking at who you've played so far, right? Like that gap is going to narrow quite a bit. Like right now, BYU has played the 27th. Their remaining is 28th. Tech has played the 88th, and their remaining is 17th. Like that's going to close some.
But it's almost feel like it's too late for the gap that's between them for them to close it. I think Georgia Tech just has to win out or win the ACC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is probably the same for BYU, right?
Win out to at least
I don't
be a
know if they
one-loss
lose
team
to
in the
Texas
Big 12
Tech
title
twice.
game.
I mean, they smoked TCU. I am starting to consider, like, if we get some chaos, there's a chance BYU gets in as an 11-2. If they
With a
play
loss
Texas
to
Tech
Texas
closer.
Tech.
Yeah.
Boy, I don't know. You think losing to the same we've never seen that, losing to the same team twice and getting in.
Yeah, we did.
Mm-hmm.
Texas Longhorns
did it last year.
Mm-hmm.
Even got to keep the 5 seed.
Yeah, they even got to have the highest available at-large bid.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, Texas and BYU playing different conversations typically, but I think that it is the chaos.